Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in. Last lesson we looked at setting up your actual portfolio document in Adobe InDesign and creating headings and text boxes and that sort of thing. And I mentioned towards the end of that, I think, that I wanted to spend another video looking specifically at how to insert your time management plan correctly out of a program like Microsoft Excel to ensure that it comes in a high quality. So I want to have a look at that today. Now, just a little reminder, I'm not going to spend this video specifically focusing on building a time management plan in Microsoft Excel. I've done that with my classes already, and if you're not from my class, you probably should work with your teacher to create a time plan in the way that they would suggest. So here's what we generated last video in Adobe InDesign, and what I want to work on today is specifically putting my time management plan here. Now, I've gone ahead and developed a sample time management plan here in Microsoft Excel, this is the way that I suggest my students lay out their portfolios. I'm not going to pull up the HSC marking criteria now and have a look through it, but what this does is just a little quick recap here. It gives quite a lot of detail in terms of time, so this is just a demonstration. There would of course be a few weeks into term 3 up here as well. A bunch of tasks down the side. These are all your portfolio tasks. These are all of your practical things, and you would change these based on what your project is. If you're a woodwork student, you wouldn't just write step 1 or build project. You need to be explicit here and write things like mark out legs, turn handle, whatever it is, and specifically step-by-step tasks, whatever it is. And what I've got here is for each task, 3 rows. The first row is for where we can document our planned time. The second row with this different color is where you can document your actual time. And then the third row, which you're just going to merge and center all of those cells together, is where you could write an evaluation to explain the difference between your planned and actual. And without going into too much more detail there, that's a way that we can ensure that we're hitting the band 6 criteria, which in your time management plan is to create a concise time plan that shows a plan, time spent, and an ongoing evaluation, and that makes sure that you're ticking those boxes. So how do I get this from Excel into Adobe InDesign? What a lot of people do, or a lot of students choose to do, is just to use a screenshot, and they'll do something like this. They'll grab a screenshot with a snipping tool or that built-in Command 4 or whatever it is, Command Shift 4 in Mac, and just copy that and come into InDesign and paste it. Now, sure, that will work, but you can see already that this is super blurry, and when you print this out on a piece of paper, it's not going to be clear, and it's really not that good. It also gives you no capability to go back into Excel and make changes and have this update. The method that I'll show you will sort of allow that, and I'll show you how to consistently update that in a good way. Now, the first thing you want to do is set up your page in Adobe InDesign ready to accept it. And what I mean by that is it needs to be the right page orientation and the right size. Now, I've designed here this layout to be an A4 portfolio, but what I might choose to do to ensure that the markers can see the time management plan, because it is quite wide and there will be quite a lot of small text and detail here once I fill out all these evaluation boxes, is I'd actually like this one page, just this time management plan page, to be a landscape A3 page, even though the rest of the document will be portrait A4. So to do that, I'm going to make sure that in my Pages tab over here, I've got my page 4, my time management plan page selected. And what I can do is down the bottom here of this Pages panel, there's Edit Page Size. You can just click on that, choose A3, and it changes the size of that page. And yes, it stuffs up our footer and our header and stuff, but we can manage that in a minute. And then the next thing I want to do is, once you've got this thumbnail selected, you can press on these few little lines up here to get more options, and you want to come into Page Attributes, Rotate Spread View, 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't really matter. Now, what this does, you can see on my page thumbnails here that that's still a portrait page, but on my screen here, I'm just looking at it sideways. That's fine. I can just put everything here the correct way. So I'm just going to rotate this stuff this way, and that's totally fine. What's going to happen now is when I print this out and I've physically got the piece of paper in my hands, you just turn it 90 degrees and it'll line up, and you could fold this page in half and bind it in with your A4 portfolio or whatever it is. So that will work. Now, the only other thing we need to do is deal with our master page items here, and I can't edit those, as you know. So like we did for our title page, I'm going to right click on here, override master page items, and now I can edit these. So I can spin that to the correct orientation, center it down the bottom like all the other pages, spin this to the correct orientation, and stick it up the top, so that even though it's A3, it's a consistent theme now across all of the pages. I've still got my heading there, my header there, and my page number there. So I've got that now ready to go, ready to accept my larger time management plan that I want to put there. Now what we need to do is we need to get it out of Microsoft Excel. You can't insert, at least to my knowledge, you can't insert an Excel file, a .xlsx or a .xl whatever it is, XLS file into Adobe InDesign. But what we can do is we can insert a PDF into an image box. So I'm going to create an image box here just by using the image frame, like the photo frame thing that I just talked about in one of the earlier videos, and I'm going to create my time management plan out of Excel as a PDF and insert it here just as if it was an image. So what I want to do in Microsoft Excel to get that is I've got my key over here that I can't forget. I need to select all of the cells, including, up to space up to and including there, and I'm going to go to File, Print Selection, and then you should have one of your printers on your computer should allow you to choose Adobe PDF. I think Mac has one built in on the print pop-up down the bottom left. There's something that says Save to PDF or something like that, and when you install Acrobat Reader, Adobe Acrobat Reader, you get an Adobe PDF one. And before you install Acrobat Reader, so if you're using a PC in a different capacity, you should also have Microsoft Print to PDF as a printer that installs as a default when you install Microsoft software. You could choose either of those. I'm just going to leave it as Adobe PDF. So my printer, it's not going to send it to a printer and spit it out on paper. It's going to save it as a PDF. You could also, depending on how you're using it, you might also be able to go Save as PDF. That should work as well. I'm not sure the quality that you'll get, and you can also here go Save as Adobe PDF. I'm just going to use Print to PDF because that's what I've been doing and I know that it works. I know that it will work consistently across every version of Excel, no matter what computer you've got and what version of Excel that you're running. So I'm going to print this selection, and then I can control things here like landscape. You can go into the printer properties here and deal with somewhere there's page size. You can make sure that you're printing it on an A3 size or whatever. It doesn't really matter. We can scale it to ensure that everything fits on this page, which it's not at the moment. Here, no scaling, fit sheet on one page. This is important. So I'm going to spit out of Microsoft Excel here one page with all of the stuff on it that we need as a PDF. I want to hit print, now printing, and I get another little pop-up down here which is just like a save as box, and I can put this wherever. Of course I'm going to put this where I've been saving all of my portfolio stuff very sensibly. 2021 HSC Major, there's my images folder, and here is where my portfolio document is currently saved, but I can't see it because right now I'm only looking at PDF files and there are no PDF files here. So I'm just going to call that, in this case it's Timeplan Sample. Yours might have more detail or whatever. Yep, pop-up tells me it's done. If I quickly go to that folder, you can see now here's my time plan, and I can open up that PDF. Now the reason it's important to have it as a PDF is instead of having it as a screenshot, PDF is a vector image, a vector-based image. These font files are still functioning in their TTF or OTF font type formats, and the lines are vectors as well. And what that means is you can zoom in and out without it going blurry at all. It also means that I can resize this PDF within InDesign and it won't go blurry, which is great. That's what we need. So now that I've got a PDF, I can come back into InDesign and I just want to choose that image frame box that I've made, File, Place, quickly navigate to my time plan sample, and there it is. Now it's not currently filling the page, but we can, like we learnt before when we were dealing with images, we can go fitting, fit content proportionally, and there it is. Now it looks a bit blurry at the moment because InDesign is currently running in a preview mode just to save RAM and speed up your computer a little bit. If you come up to View, you could change to Display Performance High Quality Display, and you can see now that this is really clear. You can zoom in on it, and even though it imported a bit smaller and I've said fit content to the size of this A3 page, it's not blurry at all, and that will print out in high quality clear stuff. Now what I can do is, if I needed to update this, so you can see, for example, of course I've got all of my time planned done, but I haven't got all of my actual, and I haven't got all of my evaluations written. Now if I need to, say I'm halfway through term 1 now and I've been documenting my time, and I need to, in Excel for whatever reason, say this is my actual time that I've been documenting, and I've got some more evaluations written. Now I need to save this updated version. What I can basically do is just reprint that and overwrite the PDF that I saved before. So I can go print, use the same settings, print to PDF, and I'm just going to save over that one. I've got to make sure it's closed here or it won't let me. Save over that, replace, and now when I come back to InDesign, it's gone a bit blurry and it tells me that there's an error. That's just because it's noticed that there's a change. So what I can do now is I can come to my links tab, wherever that is, I can't remember, Windows links, here it is, and all I have to do is, it's telling me there's an error there. You can right click and just go update link, and there's my new version that's been pushed into InDesign. So that's it. Again, I'm not detailing how to create a time plan, just how to get it into Excel. Remember, there are a number of ways that you can export it out of here as a PDF, and you're welcome to experiment with those. The print to PDF is the way that I've had the most success. Hopefully that helps you. I'll see you guys in the next video.